Right. Okay, guys, we're live. And hey, y'all, welcome to the Wolf's Den, Lady Wolverton's Den, Jen. And we're talking Daenerys 4, which is chapter 36 in Game of Thrones, or either 37 in the audiobook, because in the audiobook, they count the prologue as a chapter.
Right.
And just want to say hey to the chat real quick. Eduardo, Mackenzie, Johnny, Allison Rose, Cammy. Hey, Cameo. BBM's in the house. Johnny B. Crazy's in the house. Very good. So let's get this jumped off. Misha, if you want to go ahead and introduce yourself, and then Sarah, and then LMR, you guys go ahead.
Okay. Hello, everyone. This is Misha Houston. This is our stream for tonight. We're going to be doing Daenerys, and we're also gonna be talking a little bit about what happened at the Con of Thrones. This is like our post Con of Thrones stream, as well as our book stream. So you can, hear all the inside stories of what happened, at the Con of Thrones for the people who did not come to the Con of Thrones. It was a great time, and if you want to catch me, just catch me up on Facebook, on Instagram, or on the Capcom Fighters Network. It was a wonderful event, and we had a good time.
We certainly did. Miss Sarah.
Hello. Hi, my name is Sarah. Thank you for joining us. We're going to do, as Jen said, Game of Thrones chapter 36, when the Khalasar enters Phase Dothrak. And I think it's going to be a good chapter. It's going to be fun. Con of Thrones was fun, but I miss my kids and I'm happy to be home. Fair. So if I can just say that.
Fair enough. I understand my kids, the dogs. Everything to do with that. That was hard to leave everybody for a full weekend.
You don't realize it at the time, but anyway. LMR.
Hey, I don't know what I feel right now. I'm like, no, I'm so happy for you. Okay, no, I am very happy for you. But I'm going to go next year. I'm going to go. I missed out on a lot
No but. No way.
I have my swear jar ready. I'm going to go and basically make sure that I go there next time.
What's your costume going to be, LMR?
This is my costume. I wear it every day.
That's what I said too. But no, I'm thinking about it already. I'm all wound up. Yep.
No, I'm gonna grab you. You know what? I thought about it too. Actually, my husband, he said, "So what are we dressing up as?" I'm like, I'm gonna wear my jeans, my comfy shoes, and a white T-shirt, and that's it. I'm gonna enjoy myself. And I'm gonna enjoy the people.
If my comfies can be a costume, I would do it in a heartbeat. I don't want to wear a wig. I mean, like, I'll wear a wig if I have to wear a wig in life, but like, I'm not gonna wear a wig.
Wigs are hot.
On vacation, no way, man. And like, to get like tied into one of those things, those women and gentlemen, whoever do that, that's amazing. That's not what I'm doing. So I could be like Arya, like Dirty in the Riverlands, or in House Black and White. Like, I would have to probably go that direction.
Sounds good. I've got to admit, I would probably not dress up as one of the main characters, but like as just a past Stark or a past Targaryen, and have a pretty dress. That's what I would do.
Pretty dress.
Yeah.
Misha, what's your costume?
I won't be wearing a costume.
Fair enough. Yeah, no, like themed shirts count as a costume. I choose violence. Oh, yeah. Oh, and it's got, oh my goodness, look how pretty that is. It's got her shoulders and her crown in it. Mm-hmm. But I choose violence in that jewelry too. She's so pretty. Good job.
Yeah, I'll probably be wearing, some sort of a T-shirt just like this, just like I did for this time. Most likely just getting T-shirts, something comfortable.
That's why I said. I'm telling you, my jeans and my white T-shirt, and I'm set.
Right. That's how I felt when I got there. I had some T-shirts or whatever that I wore sometimes, but for the most part, I just wore clothes that I felt comfortable in, because you always want to feel comfortable.
While we're on the topic, I was talking with someone, and then we'll get to the chapter, I swear, but since we're talking about costumes specifically, I want to see Dance of Dragons book Jorah with like all hairy and ill armored with a tattoo on his face. Like, I want to see somebody's artistic impression of that. You don't see many of those around.
There was some really great costumes, and everybody was so nice. If you wanted to take their picture, whatever. That's one thing I really regret. I should have got way more pictures. I had got that camera for Christmas and had actually never used it. And I didn't know, I'm not good with technical stuff, but I try so hard, you guys, and that's all you really can do. You know what I mean? Is just try. But I've got to tell y'all, that was my first little video collage or anything like that with the pictures from the con. And I did it. So I feel even more confident to go next year and get hundreds of pictures and do something even more amazing with it. So.
And by the way, thank you for sending all of that. And Misha, 'cause I think you were the one who was posting them, right? The most, or that's where I got all the stuff from. So thank you. That's how we were getting previews.
Oh, thank you. It was no problem. It was a pleasure to take those pictures and a pleasure to post them as well. I didn't think they would get such a reception. I mean, I just would say something quick and go on. I mean, people were talking about these pictures that I was taking, for a good while on Hangouts, and I'm like, wow, I didn't think anyone would even care.
Oh, we were here having withdrawals. Okay.
And I get that, and I'm sorry for those of everybody who couldn't go.
We were living through you guys, so perfect.
And that's fine. I understand, but yeah, you guys, if you feel like you want to go, absolutely start saving and go. It's an experience. Even Russell had such a great time. And did you guys see the picture of Russell with Hodor? He just happened to keep bumping into him, and then finally, he didn't even have to ask for a picture. The guy was like, "Would you like a picture?" I mean, so nice, so nice.
Mm-hmm. Yes, it was a very, very interesting experience. Everyone in the hotel was very nice. I didn't, for my part, I just had a wonderful time. It was worth it. It was worth the drive over there, which was terrifying. It just was worth it all. And it was just so much fun. It was so free and so loose, it's not like normal life. It wasn't like normal life. It was just a freer environment. Everyone could stretch their legs and have a good time. People could talk to people, just go right to a stranger and just pick up a conversation and start talking about the Game of Thrones. And the other person that you were talking to was very responsive. I did not get into an altercation with anyone. Tony Teflon, one of the big mainstreamers, came right to us and spoke to us, and we even ate with him. And I spoke to other streamers like Azora Hype.
He is so nice.
Mm-hmm. And I spoke to people that I've only saw on television. Aziz was there.
Oh, he's so nice.
I spoke briefly. Yeah, I spoke briefly with Val. She was great.
She's so nice. I mean, everybody really is. Like, everybody is very, very nice, but you're very, very busy. Mm-hmm. And especially if you're on panels and stuff, and you're kind of being pulled 1,000 different ways. So it's hard to get everything in that you want to get in, basically.
And some people, if you fly and you're not used to Dallas being hot and like not, it's just the trip can take a little bit out of you sometimes. I mean, it's just a thought.
Yeah,
that's also good to know, I guess, to check it out for next year, wherever it is. Yeah, to know what to wear.
I don't think there's any kind of advertisement on where the Con of Thrones will be next year. I'm not quite sure. I would have to look into that, but I don't think they've announced anything specifically. But it was, a great success for the people who went out of their way to get the Con of Thrones together. It was certainly worth it.
Yes, it was.
I mean, there's one thing that was missing that we already talked about, and there was no Iron Throne. That's what it was missing. They needed to get the Iron Throne there so people can take pictures with it. It was no Iron Throne there, so we had to go without it. But in the moment, I barely even remembered it. Only until Pete Easy brought up the fact that there wasn't an Iron Throne there.
Right. You guys, Pete Easy. He's awesome. He is so fun. We met so many awesome people. Joanne, Terry, we met so many people. And like I said, big mistake not getting enough pictures. But you know what? If I get the opportunity again, and I'm going to plan to try to be, I mean, unless it's in Alaska or somewhere where.
That's what I'm saying. Well, unless it's in Hawaii, and then who knows, maybe more initiative to go there. Hey?
Right, exactly. I tell you, I would really love to go to Hawaii. But you guys totally worth it. And listen, I understand it's expensive. I mean, I am a cashier at the Dollar Tree, quite literally. So I get it. But you know what? You can do it on a budget. You really can. Bring you a box of Pop-Tarts, eat breakfast in your room. Grab you a couple Lunchables and have lunch in your room. Only eat dinner out. I mean, there's ways to save money. Buy a drink at the bar, but walk up to your room and refill it. There's ways to save. There's ways to do con on a budget.
Yeah, bring your own alcohol. And, if you're interested in drinking and having a good time that way, get a few bottles of alcohol if you're into drinking.
Yeah, definitely. And it's a lot of. Okay, so this brings up. I want to give an antidote. One of my favorite antidotes of something that happened at Con of Thrones. And let me tell you guys, college level drinking going on. So it must be 2 or 3 in the afternoon. I've already had probably 3 Grey Goose and cranberries in a glass just like this. Okay. Miltos walks outside talking to somebody. And I didn't pay the extra for the meet and greet and the pictures. And I feel a little trepidatious about asking somebody for their picture when they're getting paid to give pictures, So, and I didn't have my camera, but he's walking back by, and it was either me and Misha or me and Nancy T sitting outside. And I'm like, Sirio Farrell, I love you. I love you. And and I think that's it. I think, okay, so this guy, he probably thinks this crazy chick's yelling. No, he turns around, comes outside, peeks his head out the door and is like, I love you too. And couldn't be nicer. And it was just so funny and so much fun. And I'm like, are you Jock and Hagar? Are you he's just, you can tell like he's been asked that 500,000 times. He's just, I don't know, so very funny, a lot of fun.
I'm telling you, I would be completely starstruck if he started. I don't think I would be. I don't think I'm like that. But I'm imagining that I would be like, hi, what's And I think, Jen, we were talking together like for not an hour, but like close to 40 minutes one day, right after you came back, and I was just completely asking you all those questions for you. Like I couldn't. You're asking like, oh, are you home already? I'm like, no. Do you want to hang up with me now? Like, I want to hear more. Like, they can wait. So no, I'm not home yet. It's an hour drive. Talk to me, girl.
Yes, absolutely. But I did miss you guys a lot.
Yeah, it's a shame, Elamar, you couldn't make it down there.
It was just not meant to be. Too many medical bills to pay this year. Maybe next year will be better. No, it will be better. Okay, I said it to my husband. I mean, he agreed. It's not like I said it and here it is, but we agreed that he said, whenever you hear where it's at, just go and buy the thing. Just buy it and be done with it, and then we'll not have any choice. We're gonna have to go.
You know what? Sometimes it's best to do that. Sometimes it's best to just go ahead and jump in with both feet like that. That's kind of what we did. We heard in October that it was going to be in Dallas, which is doable to New Orleans. It really is. I asked for the tickets for Christmas. I got the tickets. And then as time went on, I realized, oh shit, I'm going to need a lot more money. And, you know, but I got there and I did that, and I'm very proud of that. So
there's a question here for you, Jen, in the chat. David is asking who were you talking about? Who? I can read it. Who were you talking about, Jen? Who talked to you?
I was talking about Miltoast, Syria Farrell. He talked. I mean, yeah, he talked to me. Tommy Dunn talked to us. He was very nice. And Russell talked to what is young Hodar's real name, Sarah? I hate
Sam Coleman.
Yeah, and Russell had a couple exchanges with him. He was such a nice, so very nice. And he asked Russell, "You want a picture?" I mean, just very nice. You could tell that the actors who were there wanted to be there and actually quite maybe enjoy the convention. So that's the way I took it.
Yeah, it was really no reason, at least in my opinion, not to enjoy it. It was just a wonderful experience, and I would love to go back, you know, next time, sometime in the future. I really, really enjoyed myself. The hotel was just beautiful. Oh, the hotel was so beautiful. It was like a beautiful maze to get lost in, and it was just great. Yeah, I just loved it. It was beautiful. If I could have lived in that hotel, I would have been happy to live there.
I fell down.
You fell down?
Yeah. Yeah. I got up and I just pretended no one saw me, even though I'm sure.
Oh my God.
You should have been like, I'm just stretching. Don't mind me, just stretching.
I was so embarrassed, and I have like a big old bruise now. But it was it was funny because I think the floors were just so polished, and like I wasn't used to walking in the shoes that I was in.
Well, the only thing I'm hoping is, I mean, at least I would be, if I'm there, I'm gonna be my margarita, not even margarita, tequila will be my friend. So the consolation is basically if you fall, you don't feel it as much because hopefully that'll be me at least. I can fall, won't even notice probably.
It was also early, so it was really just the floor was slippery. Like that's really all it was. So.
Stacy 27 writes, the marketplace looked awesome. That's the first thing I'm gonna hit over there, like credit card and just boom, go buy stuff. Although I heard it's really expensive, but
if you price stuff, are we going to talk about the book? I was going to say some of the stuff is actually way cheaper there. But so yeah, anyway, Misha, what were you going to say?
Yeah, the marketplace was not as big as I thought it would be.
Really?
It had, you know, some length to it, but the truth is, it really didn't take up the whole space that was designated for it. They could have had more, you know, there, but it's still. But what they had was really great. They had a lot of great stuff in there, and it was very expensive, but it was still, you know, an adequate marketplace.
I was gonna say, I think it has to do. I'm not in on this market, but it's like I think it's pretty expensive to get a spot there, which has to.
Oh, I'm sure. Whenever you have a booth somewhere like that, you either have to pay them a flat fee or sometimes even a percentage. I know if my parents let you have a food booth at something they're doing, you have to pay them a fee and a percentage of your total sales.
Wow.
Right. Yeah. Like 24% or something like that.
Wow. That's steep. Ooh.
Yeah.
It was a very nice place. I didn't feel like, you know, anything was left out, only except the throne. Only except the throne and stuff. They could have had that throne right there in the marketplace, but
to buy.
They didn't have it. They didn't. No Iron Throne. So I mean, if they're listening to us, you know, make sure you have the Iron Throne there.
Okay, Terry T says, plus all the marketplace folks are so cool to talk to too. Okay, I have an antidote about that. So I went in the marketplace once and got a few things, but didn't get to do the whole marketplace. So then I went back and I made it to Kyle and Gemma and James's booth, which is like, I think the very last booth. And the guy, I don't know his name. Sarah, maybe you know it. The guy who does all of Kyle and I guess Gemma's artwork, he was so nice.
I'm sure. Yeah, no, I didn't know there was a shared artist there.
Yeah, and I was trying to buy this shirt and I wanted an extra large and he was like, oh no, you can wear the large. You can wear the large. And I'm like, you just sold this shirt. You know what I'm saying? He was really so friendly and so nice. And I really had a very, very good time talking to him. Very nice guy. And very beautiful artwork. Apparently he does manga and other stuff and Olive Kyle stuff. It's very nice. Yes.
There was this movie, I forgot what it was. I watched too many probably, where a guy, probably one of the oh gosh, Mission Impossible, but I'm probably wrong, or something else. The guy buys a dress for a girl, and she's whatever her size is, and he basically, or somebody orders it just because they wanted two sizes too small because of the obvious reasons. So yeah, you know,
I hate this story.
Well, you know, and I think she notices it or something, and he's like, "Oh, sorry." I don't know. So I thought about that story that you said about the shirt. I mean, yeah.
No, he was being really nice about, because I'm kind of chubby. You know, I was even like, I need an extra large.
Jen, you were gorgeous. I loved your pictures. Let's not talk about chubby or anything. No, everybody's beautiful.
We're not quantifying
No. I'm not even going to listen to that. You were gorgeous. I loved all your pictures. So.
But he was so like, no, you're not. He was like, no, you're not. You can wear this large. And I was just like, I love you.
Okay, now where was Russell?
Russell was.
No, I'm just joking.
Russell got to where he didn't need me. You know what I mean? I mean, he's off like doing his own thing, hanging with the folks. And, I've created a monster. Now on the ride home, you guys, I'm having to listen to all kinds of really crazy theories, and do I think this? And
I love it.
I have to shut you down for a little bit here, babe.
He's gonna make a tinfoil hat. He's gonna.
Yes.
It's gonna be fantastic.
Yes.
See, there's something about getting your friends or your significant other into that. I just did that thing, the same thing with my husband about Westworld. I'm very proud. I'm very, very proud. And he's picky as heck when it comes to movies. You could not find a more picky person to. Yeah, I'm the one who sees, I guess, beauty in everything. I'm the weird one. I'm Dolores. I don't know what he's at. I'm like, there's beauty in this world.
Not current Dolores.
Well, outside the stream, I don't know.
Yeah, sure.
For the stream, I'm the original one. Outside of
let's
it,
all be the original one. I don't. Yes. Let's all be the.
Yeah. Anyway, so I'm like I said, Russell. Whenever I was trying to catch all of your streams when you were in your room or even and lobby, I guess, and everybody was like, Russell, where's Russell? Nobody was like, oh, where's anybody? No, where's Russell? So. Say hi to him when you get a chance.
I certainly will, you guys. He said to say hey to everybody. He had a really tough day. Russell does AC work and fixes ACs. And if you guys think it's hot in Dallas, well, come to New Orleans. It's a different kind of heat. So he really worked his butt off today. You guys, here's something Nancy T brought. See, Mr. Wiki's kerchief. It's a Game of Thrones kerchief, and both Rudy and Wiki now have one. And yes, I always have a little premiere party, but on Thursday nights it's gonna be Game of Thrones wearing night, and he likes it. So yeah. And like Misha's like, okay, Jennifer, put the dog down. By the way, Phoebe Feverson is missing. My cat Phoebe, the one you told me that always jumps in my lap. So everybody, please, good vibes and prayers for Phoebe Feverson to make her way back to this house.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Hopefully she'll be back soon, and yeah. She'll probably stroll in there like nothing. Just like, hey, where's my food? Like she won't be like a dog. Because when there was this, not even a meme, whatever, it was like a little short video somewhere where the dog comes home, and then after being gone and wagging his tail and all that, sad, and because he knows he did something wrong, like on the floor. And then there's this other thing of the cat, like, where have you been, like, for a week? And the cat just strolls in, finds his spot and starts licking his fur like nothing. So, but I love cats. I just can't have them in the house. So good for you, Jen, that you have them.
Well, you guys know what happened. I had a cat. Russell hates cats. I had a cat because my daughter-in-law cat had kittens and she needed to give them to good homes, so he let me have one. And then both sister-in-laws of mine got cats and then decided they couldn't have the cats, and I didn't want to see them go to the ASPCA. So we do practice, spaying and neutering here, and I have the cats and I love them. And I'm a lover to the animals. And by the way, met Phil, the issues guy, he is also a friend to the animals. So is Nancy T. So that's me. I'm a friend to the animals. So
I'm just waiting for Misha maybe to help us steer us along, because I love this chat. I'm loving it. But pressure, Misha, no pressure.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah. I mean, as far as the con, as I said before, it was great. Everyone was cool. I got into no altercations with anyone or anything.
You say that like you thought you were going to.
And, yeah, no. I mean, I was cool. I was pretty much cool the whole time. We've got some people in the chat that have made their presence known. Johnny B. Crazy, Nancy T. Hey, Nancy, it's good to have you here in our chat. Thank you so much for the beautiful blankets that you made for us. I so appreciate it. Thank you so much, Nancy. BBM, oh BBM, you missed it, my friend. You missed it. But I'm so happy that you came, to our other live streams and was in our chats. Thank you so much, BBM. And maybe next year you can make your way down to wherever the location will be for the next Con of Thrones. It was just great. You would have loved it.
Yes, you would have.
Who else is here? Terry T, thank you for joining us. Chrissy, thank you for joining us as well. Johnny B. Crazy, thank you. Emmanuel, thank you so much for joining us tonight. Cammie, hey sweetheart. Cammie wanted to come and was the closest to the Con of Thrones, but she could not make it. But I heard that she had a wonderful time anyway. So I just want to say hello to everyone. If I missed someone, Bubba Husky, thank you for joining us as well. And I think Septashana Sapphires, thank you for joining us as well. We're going to go ahead and go on into the story. And our chapter tonight is Daenerys. So we're doing a Daenerys chapter 35 or chapter 36.
It's 36.
Yeah, chapter 36 for Daenerys. She arrives at Vaya's Dothrak for the first time. And forgive me, everyone, I did not read the chapter. Did anyone here read the chapter? And if you did, you're welcome to go on and do the overview for tonight. Did anyone read the chapter?
I read it. I read it.
We read it, yep.
Okay, I didn't get a chance to read it, so I can't really take the lead on this one.
So to say, Misha, you can move us along then if we start arguing about something that's minute.
Yeah, let's just let me do a quick overview, and then we'll go into the nuts and bolts of things that we noticed and things that stuck out to us, if you will. Okay. Daenerys reaches Vaes Dothrak. There's two gigantic bronze stallions rearing their hooves, meeting in the air. So yeah, and what she notices is that the city that has it has doors and gates, so to speak, but it has no walls. And they reach the city, and the talk around the Khalasar is basically picking on Viserys. Everybody had started calling him Khal Raymar. Am I pronouncing that right? The Sorefoot King, because after he bullied Daenerys and she took his horse away, he had to walk. Mm-hmm. So everybody started calling him the Sorefoot King. And of course, he doesn't know what they're saying. He doesn't know he's being mocked, because he has he has lifted not one finger to try to assimilate into this culture. He looks down his nose at it and still views Daenerys kind of as his possession. And then Khal Drogo asks him, do you want to ride in the cart? And he's being facetious. He's really making fun of him right up in his face, basically. And he says yes, thinking that Khal Drogo is like apologizing to him, but he's not. And so then they start calling him Khal.
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Then they start calling him Khal Ragat, the cart king, because only eunuchs, cripples, women giving birth, and the very young or the very old ride in the carts. I mean, like we've seen, if you can't ride in the Khalasar, you are less than zero. You can't sit a horse. And then according to how far you are up the column, belies your social status in the Khalasar, basically. So Khal Drogo and Daenerys are at the front, then the Blood Riders, then the better warriors, their women, etc. So if you're in the back in a car, you're like, yeah. So she begged Ser Jorah not to tell him even, look, everybody's making fun of you. Like, like that you're riding in the cart or whatever. Like everybody was at least expecting you to man up and be like, nah, I'm all right. But you accept it. And Ser Jorah tells her, well, he could actually do with a bit of shame. And she begs him not to, and he doesn't. And Daenerys uses all of the pillow tricks that she has learned and all of her persuasion that she has to get him to let him get on horseback again and rejoin the front of the column. So they're in the city, and she asks Ser Jorah, where is the city? And he's like, there, under the mountains. And she notices there's not really that many buildings, and the buildings that there were built by slaves who were brought there from other places. And Ser Jorah tells her that long ago, what the Dothraki would do is just dig a hole and put a grass roof over it, because they sleep under the stars. And I think that also has to do a little bit with their religion too. So also she notices there's all kinds of statues from conquered cities, and we're going to get back into this. Some very beautiful and some so terrible she could barely look at them. And Ser Jorah tells her those are more than likely from the Shadowlands of Ashai. And she says so many and so from so far off. And Viserys sneers and basically says, the trash of dead cities, all these savages know how to do is steal things from better men have built and kill. And oh yes, they could kill, or either I wouldn't even be fooling with them. But he also makes sure that he says this, of course, in Westerosi, and then sneers at the fact that the Dothraki don't know his language, as if that has to do with somebody's intelligence, that they wouldn't know a language that they rarely hear and that it's not their native tongue. And then Ser Jorah goes on to say, he really made a mistake because Daenerys noticed his appearance. He's sweaty. He's dirty from the road. He looks uncomfortable. He stinks more than like. And, Jorah's like, he should have stayed in Pentos. That's what Maester Illyrio tried to tell him. Your brother does not listen. And at this point, remember, Daenerys is early in her pregnancy, and she asked Ser Jorah, even if my lord husband was to give my brother what he wants, could he even conquer the 7 kingdoms? And Ser Jorah goes on to tell him, at first, if you'd asked me when I first joined the Dothraki, I was very prejudiced like Viserys is. But now that I've seen them fight and lived among them, yeah, they could. And then in this, we get Daenerys starting to think, maybe this could happen, but she starts to get a seed planted in her mind, but not for Viserys, for my kid, not even for herself, for her child, that she is sure is a boy and that she is sure is the true dragon. But still, she's trying to keep on good terms with her brother. He's the only person she's ever had, consistently in her life. She has clothes made for him. She sends either, I think, Jiqui, one of her Dothraki handmaidens, to the Western market to get anything but horse meat, because Viserys looks down on horse meat. She comes back with goat. She sends Doria, her Lysene handmaiden, to invite Viserys to dinner because I mean she's thought of every detail because her Dothraki handmaidens get on his nerves. He looks down at them. So she takes all this into account and really goes out of her way. And he comes in her tent, and the first thing, he's mad that he feels like she has issued a command to him by inviting him to dinner. And he comes in and is a total ass and throws her gifts in her face. And at this juncture, you know, she's through with him, and she goes to bed that night thinking, you know, pretty much any affection she had for him is very fast flittering away. She goes to bed thinking, with one of her dragon eggs, I have the last dragon in my wound. It's not Viserys. And I think at this point in the game and in her mind, she knows that if she ever does go home, it will not be her brother to take her there. And she's pinning all her hopes on her child at this point, and that's where the chapter ends.
Great overview. I love. You always have a great overview, but I seriously enjoyed it. And wow, I don't know about you, Chad. Like, oh my, and ladies, I loved it.
Well, thank you, Elamar.
No problem.
Can I throw one more thing in there, Jen? I loved
absolutely.
it. I was following along, and I've got it actually open for the first time. Oh, am I not muted? Hold on a second.
You're good. You're good.
You're good. You're good.
Or something. Yeah. So Danny hits him back. Danny he goes after her, and she grabs the closest thing to her, which is a belt that she had fashioned for him. She had sent them out to the marketplace to maybe find him some clothes that he could wear. He won't eat the horse meat. Maybe they have something to his tastes there. She's trying to get him to join. And I don't know what. All right, said, please, you'll be cooler and more comfortable. And I thought maybe if you dress like them, the Dothraki. Yep. Danny did not know how to say it without waking his dragon. Like she's so afraid of him. She's still so afraid of him, even though she's pregnant with Khal Drogo's child, and she still was like, I can't wake the dragon.
That's all she knew all her life. That's all she knew. I mean, that was her brother, like Jen said. The only person that was stable, because they were moving from place to place. And he was the only face that she had in her life constantly and consistently. So, and I'm sure he kept saying that to her all the time. Like, you scared children. I mean, I don't scare, and you don't scare, nobody scares children. But when people do like, oh, don't do it because this will happen. And that stuff can get in our heads too. So that's why she was afraid of, one of the reasons why, because he was mistreating her, wasn't he?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely. Let's see. He, I think he assaulted one of the handmaidens. Let's see. She said, he's like, next year want to braid my hair.
You know,
oh, this is what she says to him. This is
you
great.
Gotta earn a braid.
She goes, you have no right to a braid. You have won no victories yet. It was the wrong thing to say. Fury shone from his lilac eyes, yet he dared not strike her, not with the handmaids watching and the warriors of the whatever, cause outside. All right.
For anyone who hasn't really read this chapter, it's pretty much the exact same way as it is in the story, and you know, for the show. So if you haven't read, this is one of the scenes that they actually got right in the show.
Yeah.
So if you haven't read, just go back and watch the episode, one of the earlier episodes, and it's pretty much the exact same way. And that's what I really appreciate that first season. There were so many scenes that were right out of the book.
It was really well done. Yeah.
It was really well done. Exactly.
Yeah, he did grab her, and that's when, for an instant, she felt like a child again, and then reached out for the first thing she could. So it's not like she just randomly felt like hitting him. He grabbed her first.
And if I could make a note, I'm just kind of catching up on comments here. Johnny be crazy. He says he has to go. He's in pain. So I'm sorry, Johnny. And he says that he's gonna catch us tomorrow. Probably looking at the stream. So I hope you feel better, Johnny. get some rest.
100%. I understand chronic pain here. I certainly do. And I also want to say, Johnny has been putting out some really great theories on Westworld. And also him and LMR have a live stream. They're going to be live streaming weekly on Westworld. And you guys want to catch that because they're really into it and they know what they're talking about. And sometimes, hopefully, I'll get to come on and join them and ask the really dumb questions, because that show, as entertaining as it is, I don't know what in the hell is going on.
So Jen, I was so into it the first season. Like, I watched it, I obsessed over it all week. I watched the next one. Like, this one I can't get into, and it's like shame on me because it's what everyone's talking about, and I'm like, guess what I put on when I'm ready to go to sleep?
I love it. I love the history of it and seeing, you know, especially the Japanese story unfold and everything. I really love it, but it's a complicated little show that.
It is, and actually, this is what I love. I love things like that because they're not boring, and there's that mystery part, and if the more confusing but hopefully logical at the end, the more exciting it is for me. So this is one of the reasons why I'm watching Westworld, because it just completely blows my mind.
You're gonna have to just tell me what it's like, because all right, we're already off topic. After this topic, let's get back to the book. All right. I watched Lost. Did anyone watch Lost?
Yes, yes, crazy. Okay. I mean, what?
Did anyone feel really, really, really upset and betrayed by what happened with Lost? Like, I kind of like, if I don't like a show, I'm like, whatever, I didn't care about it anyway, because I'm just so scared about how they're going to end, like, or what's going to happen. But when you obsess over it week to week, I do miss that. That's fun. It's fun to catch things that other people don't catch. Or
where was it playing on? Where was Lost playing on? What
ABC. ABC.
Not anything against ABC, but this is HBO. They're not going to blow it out of proportion as far as this is so big, and then we're going to just kind of the end, because the ink ended.
I mean, they were in Hawaii with like a lot of actors who probably wanted a lot of money. They had a polar bear in the woods. They had a polar bear in the jungle. Yeah. It was exciting at the time.
No, I'm saying, like, no, I maybe watch one episode. I'm like, no, that's okay, thank you. But for Westworld, I have high hopes because they need something for after Game of Thrones, and if they introduce it slowly, and if they do it right, they have another hit after Game of Thrones.
So some clips I've seen of it, I know that's not what we're here for, when they like dip them in that white stuff, I'm like, I don't know, I can't watch it.
Have you seen that movie, again off topic, the one about Snow White or something? The Queen goes into that whatever milk stuff. That reminded me of that. Misha, please help. We're off topic.
Misha,
please. I'm not I'm the one off topic, so please help me.
This one thing. After we're finished with the Game of Thrones discussion, which won't last long, because I know this is a very short chapter, then we can, kind of go all off, into other sections of the show.
Thank you, Misha. All right.
But
No, that's okay, Misha. We always need you to pull us back in. Okay. We do.
Okay.
I feel like Mr. Rogers. I'm always taking on and putting on my cardigan. That's like my thing.
Wouldn't you like to be my neighbor?
No. I mean, like, not you specifically, but that's what people would say.
Oh my God.
No. That's why I'm not asking.
I used to love that little puppet show in Mr. Rogers.
When it was a good show.
The little puppet people over. Okay.
It's on TBS now in a different form, but PBS, sorry. Daniel Tiger's Neighborhood, for anyone watching.
Hello.
It's a hoodie on at the beginning of every episode.
I'll be quiet until there's something Game of Thrones at least.
Okay, let's do it. I have a point. Should I make it, or just keep talking about other stuff?
No. Make a point. Not that you're not making a point, but go ahead.
So I like Jorah in this. Am I echoey, or is that just
there's a little bit?
Let's fix it.
Well, while she's fixing it, I want to give a shout out to AU Pack Mule. Thank you so much, AU, for joining us, joining our chat tonight. Branwick, thank you, Bran, for joining us. I think I've spoken to everyone else, but thank you all. Our chat is growing little by little every week, and I so appreciate that. Yeah, we're talking about Daenerys, and she's made it into Bias Dothrak, and she's had, a confrontation with her brother. Her brother is not doing well here. He's not doing well here at all. And let me say this about Viserys. I'm not too angry and upset with him for having, gone with the Dothraki. If it were me, I would have gone with them too. I would have gone with them too to make sure that the deal that they struck together, came to fruition. I'm not angry with him about that. What I'm angry with him about is that he didn't try to learn about the people that gotcha, Jen. And he didn't try to learn about the people that he wanted to rule. He didn't, try to learn their language. He didn't try to learn their customs. He looked down upon them. He wanted these people's help, but
he wouldn't, Misha, he wouldn't eat the horse meat.
Yeah, he wouldn't eat their food. He wouldn't try. He wouldn't try to adapt. There, in a later chapter, it comes to a point, and I don't want to give anything away, but it comes to a point where it really, really shows how terrible he was at adapting to a new situation. He was so terrible at it that it came to the point where he's supposed to be a king, but he looks like a homeless man.
I feel like he's just unraveling, like the life of stress. Like they've had the quote usurpers dogs after them for goodness knows how long.
Yeah.
Who am I echoing on? Oh my goodness. I don't think it's me, but I'm just gonna keep talking until someone tells me not to. Yeah. The Beggar King did keep Dany alive for all that time. Yeah. And he's very entitled. Like Magister Illyrio is going to give us this army, and we're going to go home, and we're going to conquer what's mine, what's ours, he's unraveling. Yeah.
I wonder who was how, if anybody knows how old he was when he escaped from basically being killed. But also that may have something to do with what he remembers at home. Maybe he was told all that. Maybe besides his nature, somebody must have said that stuff to him, that he is, all this and he's all that, and he's gonna be the next, or he is the king, the rightful king. So somebody must have been feeding him all that information. There was somebody, if I can add, one of the creators, and is there big reverb? Because I can hear reverb like really bad.
I hear it too. I don't know where it's coming from. I'm muted.
Okay. If wow, yeah, because we're all okay. So one of the creators here on YouTube made that point, and I don't remember who, that he was in a way set up. He might have been set up, the series, by
Preston Jacobs. He might have.
Oh,
that's the first person. Other people might have done it, but that's the first person I heard it from. Is that like?
Okay.
Yeah, Jorah sort of told Dany what was right and let Viserys fall, and Dorea, who could speak the common tongue, commanded him, didn't ask him. But anyway, go ahead.
So yeah, exactly. Like everybody, it was like all those little things, and we, at least I know how it is when somebody, maybe more people have that experience, where it only takes like a little something from somebody. They only need to say one word or the tone of voice in which they are saying it to kind of set somebody off, and they do that sometimes on purpose. And it's mean. They might. Yeah. Go ahead, Sarah. Yeah.
Are you done making your point? Because I'm about to talk.
Yeah, go. Yeah, please talk, Sarah.
All right. So that like you're being patient, you're being patient, you're being patient, you're unraveling, and you flip. Like everyone's had it at least once in their life, right? But so there's like a music festival Coachella. There's other big music festivals. Delaware does something called Firefly, which is like an East Coast version of that. And I've gone just for like the day or just because it's close or whatever. And it's just a count of how many, like, it's hot. You have to walk so far. No one is necessarily, people are not necessarily prepared for it. People don't necessarily do as well. And there's like always a girl in a bikini screaming at her friends, like screaming at them. And it's hilarious. And people kind of like pretend not to look, but you're absolutely looking. And I'm just thinking of when I'm reading this, I'm like, Viserys is the girl screaming at his friends at the music festival because things are stressful and not going his way.
Well, as far as that goes, I also want to make a point of how far this is. This is not.
They've gone far.
Right. This is not some 10-mile journey. You know, they're gone for a very long time. They go pretty much the span of the United States. That's pretty much how far it is from Pentos all the way.
Wow. That is crazy far.
They told him to stay.
And in the meantime, he's not. She gets him clothes. She wants to dress him up, but I think she's doing it to let him know that what you have on is filthy. It's been a long journey. You need to clean yourself up. You need to, dress up and try and learn. This is, and the fact that he doesn't even see that. To see the fact,
right? He needs to try to fit in.
Yeah, he needs.
There's trying to be like somebody you're not, but then there's also just trying to be neat and clean and unobtrusive. And boy, he's just not making even just any effort, whatever.
Yeah, not even to fix his own self up.
Right. Like, don't you even care about yourself that you are, that people
he probably thinks he looks good in his like Westerosi garb. He's superior,
I don't have no idea what he's thinking. How could you go so far, so many miles, and not think to change your clothes?
Because he's not going to dress like a savage. He's not going to dress like a savage. He's not going to eat the horse meat. Like,
right.
It's kind of hard to imagine somebody who successfully kept himself and his sister alive for so long, not do so well. But one of the interesting things, can I change the subject to the topic of
course you can.
Thank you, dear. The Dash Colleen, like when she's going to be presented to the crones, like how that plays out on the show, I thought was interesting, and we could talk about that maybe. But then also, there's a meme going around, and it's like you never meet the Dothraki on an open field. Like, is that the show or is that the books? Well, it's Robert Baratheon, like from the show.
It is on, and I remember it from the books too. Am I right?
So he's
you would never want to meet cavalry. You would never want to put army up against cavalry, though. So, that's a pretty basic military knowledge.
What's interesting is to just hear Jorah, who like isn't my favorite moral character, but just to like hear him talk about the riders have no taste for siegecraft. Like, they're better riders, their arrows are better, but like they're not like any castle could rain arrows down on them and just pick them off over time.
For them, it's like they're born. I'm sure. Yeah, they're born on horseback. Like,
you feel. I felt something for Robert too, because like. So she's asking if Robert is a fool, and all right, so Jorah considered that for a moment. Robert should have been born Dothraki, he said at last. Your call will tell you that only a coward hides behind stone walls instead of facing his enemy with a blade at hand. The usurper would agree. So he's strong man, brave, rash enough to meet the Dothraki horde in open field. But the men around him, well, their pipers play a different tune. His brother Stannis, Lord Tywin Lannister, Eddard Stark. And I'm like, if just Stannis and Tywin and Eddard could have all gotten along, they would have been unstoppable, man. Like,
but they had so many issues, so I don't think that's even
you can't even start to, but I mean, like,
no, too much, like in that family from the beginning.
To Jorah, that's like the power team over there. And then also he's like, Dany says, you hate this Lord Stark, and Jorah says, he took from me all I loved for the sake of a few lice-ridden poachers and his precious honor. He said bitterly. From his tone, she could tell the loss still pained him. He changed the subject quickly. So I'm just like, really, Jorah? That's what happened?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like.
Yeah. I wonder, because he says that he spits on Ned's honor. Like, I spit on wherever his honor. I wonder if he knows anything about, because Ned is making himself so high and mighty and just a saint.
Well, I
wonder if he suspects anything.
I mean, what do you mean suspects anything?
Meaning, because Ned is, well, I mean, why would he say he spits on his honor?
Oh, like, because his honor is what banished his ass to Essos. Like, so he, I think, like, and I've heard this, I've read this, I'm so sorry if I'm pulling this from your personal essay directly, I'm so sorry, but to me, it's actual thought that Ned was the type of leader, he had meals with the people who, with his bannermen, he had meals with, Micken, like he had meals with like the armor guy. He had meals with he knew his people, and
he tried to host a different person every night at his table.
So kind of like Daenerys is. So kind of like Daenerys is. She's trying to be with her people.
Exactly. Yeah. And that's, I love the parallels between Ned and Dany this season. Like they both are like not, or excuse me, not this season. I'm all over the place. I'm sorry. What was I saying?
No, sorry. And if I don't respond to anything, I'm sorry. It's lagging here on my part. So if you just see me like staring at you, it's not like I'm trying to win a staring contest. It's just because my thing is my screen is lagging.
So the Mormonts are like significant bannermen. I mean, if the show will have you believing it, Lyanna Mormont like basically runs the North with that or pony. Like he can't be selling people into slavery. You're not allowed to do that. Like if he got caught, that means it was people knew he was doing it, right? And
well, I have heard some theories that he was set up, but that's getting way. I mean, you're going way deep.
He was set up by the High Towers to. Something about the High Tower. Yeah, it is weird.
Because he was married to Lyness Hightower. And I mean, it goes back to people even saying that tournament he met her at was rigged. But we know like, tournaments are rigged.
Crazy,
so that is like very possible.
But like, crazy love potion. I don't know. Yeah, Misha or Elamar, I'm not going to comment on that because like I haven't read up on my
on which one?
Well, yeah, Jorah is such an interesting character, and sometimes I want to trust the man, and sometimes I don't. I feel sorry for him, because of his love story, because he does have a very beautiful love story that he goes into in the Clash of Kings. I really, really love that story from him. But then there are some times with him that I think he's just trying to get her across the narrow sea. For some sort of a setup or something like that. He's constantly telling her.
Yeah, somebody's paying him. Like, this is not a person who, like Barristan Selmy shows up because he thinks it's the right thing to do. And he's going to swear by it and make sure she's worthy. And but Jorah, somebody's paying that man. Like, there's
You guys, AU Pack Mule says in the chat that Jorah Mormont's theme song would be "Looking for love in all the wrong places."
And that's what's so tough too.
In too many places.
Jen, that needs to be the next karaoke song.
Exactly.
The next karaoke song.
That's what I'm actually sitting in the comments right now, chatting with everybody because I don't want to interrupt you ladies. I'm having so much fun, so I'm in a chat and I'm here. I'm like two places.
Hey Milt, welcome.
Yeah, yes, thank you all so much for joining our chat tonight. We're doing Dany, This is Danny's the 36th chapter, Danny, and she's starting to open her eyes a little bit in regards to Viserys. But the power is starting to shift toward her favor. It's really been pretty much his way for many years, and the power is shifting. And I think that he really made a mess of himself by selling her to the Dothraki. He thought that this experience was going to be something terrible for her, something that she would falter at so he could look all the better. But he's starting to realize that it's not all about him, and that his sister is, adapting wonderfully well to this entire, situation.
And I tell you something else, he is extremely jealous.
Yeah,
he is so effing jealous of the fact that she does have people treating her like a princess and a queen, whereas before they might have got a little bit of lip service here and there, from certain people. But I mean, at this juncture, Daenerys can really command people and can command his ass, and he can't stand it.
No, he cannot stand it. He's been in power all these years, and he's helped her stay alive all these years. And I think, he's just feeling like, what's going on here? It wasn't supposed to be this way. I was supposed to be the one in the spotlight. I was supposed to be the one, who would gain their love. But apparently he has not, and he hasn't really done anything to gain their love, gain their respect. He hasn't done anything at all for these people. He's insulted and harassed them at every point, and they are fighting back against him as well, with the Cart King and the Swordfoot King and all of the insults behind his back. He just is trying to make it all about him, but apparently it's just not going the way that he wants it to, and it's gonna come ahead, in the next Daenerys' chapter.
Certainly is.
Yeah, and I just want to let everyone know, about Viserys, and there are some times where I kind of understand his pain a little bit, because
absolutely, I don't envy that man at all.
I mean, I know most folks don't, but in a way, I kind of understand his point just a little.
He's lost everything.
He made a deal with these people, and they, whether they were right to or not, are reneging on what the deal was. Technically, in my opinion, he's right about some certain things. This was not he was supposed to go with these people, and they were supposed to make plans for an invasion, and they are going in the opposite direction. They are going in the opposite direction, and that's true in the books and in the show. But Viserys says they're going the wrong way with my army, and it was supposed to be a deal. It was supposed to be a deal, and they did not, live up to their agreements.
Jorah tries
that they shouldn't have.
Yeah. Jorah, it feels like Jorah tries to make him understand, like, they're not merchants. It's not tit for tat. It's, no pun intended. It's you gave them a gift, they'll give you a gift when they feel like it, not a moment sooner, and you get no say when that happens.
Yeah, it's completely different culture, and he is so stubborn and narrow-minded.
Not listening, and he
will not even open up to anything. So that's one of his downfalls. He is too stubborn. Stubbornness can be good, but anything in excess is not good. And he doesn't know his limits or where he should have a limit with that.
I piss on Dothraki omens.
Yeah. I thought you were gonna say that in your own sentence. I'm like, Jen. Oh gosh, that is funny.
Can I?
He doesn't have much respect for these people, and yet he wants to lead them. You have to, in order to be a good leader, you have to be a good follower. And he is just refusing to follow and learn about the people that he is trying to rule. And I have to make a point that Dany also struggles with that in A Dance with Dragons later on in her story. I mean, some of the things that I've noticed she struggles with as well when she gets to Slaver's Bay. She is also, trying to make Slaver's Bay into what she wants it to be. And she was also making the mistake that Viserys was making. And she, just like Viserys, she really wasn't trying to learn about the Milanese people and learn about, what kind of culture and what everything means to them over there. And that's really, a big mistake with a lot of rulers. It's easy to conquer a place, but it's hard to learn about them. It's hard to rule that place. It's hard, just to be a leader in your own right and make everyone happy.
Robert Baratheon says that about his own culture.
Right.
Mm-hmm. The easy part was winning the damn 7 kingdoms. The hard part is ruling them. So that's a reoccurring theme that we see.
Yeah, so many people here want to be leaders, want to be rulers. But once they get to that high place, just like Cersei is another example of that. They realize how difficult it really is. And it's not an easy job to be a king, to be a queen, to be a ruler. Jon Snow learned it in the show and learned it, while at his time with the Night's Watch. I mean, it's just hard being a ruler. But I can't really fault anyone for being a ruler and being in power because of, the powerless people are trodden down upon. The powerless people are done wrong or mistreated or beaten or raped or hurt or killed. You have to have a little bit of power just to survive in this cruel world. But once you get the power, once you're sitting on top, it apparently, becomes even worse. It just becomes even worse for you. So that's a really good lesson, what I drew from this chapter. Okay, Jen, we'll be here, Jen. And
there is I don't know if that oh, sorry, can I go ahead?
Yeah, it's just hard. It's hard all the way around. It's hard for the powerful and it's hard for the powerless. But I can't really fault anyone for wanting a little bit of power because you seem to live a little bit longer with power than you do without it. I just
there's a comment here. I don't know if it was mentioned. Since we're on topic of power and wanting power, Milt says, I don't know if it was already read here. Viserys got a raw deal from Khal Drogo. He married his sister off in exchange for the army. He helped him, or to help him take Westeros, and Drogo backed out of the deal. Yeah, there is this whole clash of cultures, and that is
whoever brokered that deal did not make Viserys understand that was not going to happen.
There was not a good translation, because that's why I keep saying
Missandei was not in that episode.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm kidding.
Yeah. No, exactly. So yeah, I still think that he was kind of framed, and I completely agree with. You said who made that video? I don't want to quote the wrong person, but yeah, I agree with that. That there's just too many things that are off. That he how can one person be so dumb? Like, how can he be so dumb to do that? Or I mean, there are people like that. Let's not kid ourselves. There are people like that. But
every girl in a bikini, there's always a girl in a bikini melting down somewhere.
Yeah.
In the middle of the desert.
I have a point about that whole Viserys Dany setup thing. Especially in regards to Illyrio. Once I want to refer a little bit to the Tyrion chapter in Daenerys when he first meets Illyrio, one of the first few chapters, and Tyrion himself is examining this Dany Viserys situation, and he pretty much nails the thing right on the head. He figured that seeing as Dany got the dragon eggs, and he gave Dany the dragon eggs, and he gave what's his name, Viserys, a sword, who he was truly backing. If he was truly backing Viserys, he would have given Viserys the dragon eggs. The dragon eggs are a symbol of their family. It's a symbol of their heritage, and it is proof that the Targaryens did take over Westeros. And yet he says that he's down with Viserys and what he wants to be done, but he gives the dragon eggs on her wedding day to Daenerys. I mean, that's a big sign right there.
I'm not up on my Targaryen history, but I feel like they do better when they're with women. Is that fair to say?
I mean,
what do you mean?
Well,
the eggs, the Targaryen eggs.
Oh,
some people say that there's a theory out there, and I believe this is another Preston Jacobs theory, which he always blows my mind. Every time he comes out with a new series, I'm like, shit, I got to reread. But yeah, he believes there's something to, you know, having a certain.
There's like a dragon hatching gene. There's a dragon, whatever. Just let's just. I don't even. Please not. Okay, Misha. Wrap it up.
There's a comment
Reel it in.
There is a comment here kind of similar to what we were talking about, Robert, since when we were talking about Daenerys, right, we're not only concentrating on Daenerys, but who she interacts with, because a lot of people don't have their own chapters. That's why we're kind of discussing other characters.
That's why I like Jorah and Robert.
Exactly. And there was a comment here. David says she was good at breaking down old systems, and speaking about Daenerys, and disappointing. I need my glasses. Disposing leads that have lost control, but she knows nothing of building a new structure. Kind of like Robert.
Kind of like America.
He was good at.
If I could.
Well, yeah. No politics.
America is extremely good. America in today's world is extremely good at going over wherever and starting a war and starting a bunch of shit. And then we see America do this. We see America do this in Vietnam. We see them constantly do this. They go over, start a bunch of shit. Well, don't start a bunch of shit if you can't finish it. And, you know, you've got to be able to have a plan in place for once the fighting is done. And I think that is what David is trying to say.
Okay, I have a question that's unrelated to politics. Can I out you? I'm sorry. Just delete this if it's bad. OGDA and David, are you the same person? Or who's David? I don't see David.
Okay, OTDA is one true David Adams. Yes.
Oh, okay. All right. So listen, I put that together after a year. So congratulations to me.
And Eleanor, I am sorry I interrupted you. Oh my God. You guys
know. Don't worry. We love talking. It's all good. It's all good. Don't worry.
I apologize though. Please go, but I just because that is so true even for today, when it not even just America, but when another country kind of gets into another country's economic system or goes over and thinks they're gonna set up a democracy or whatever. You know, it's a hard thing, like way easier said than done.
So can I mention something?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not echoing. I hear echo, but
I do too. I'm going to mute myself. I don't understand it. I've got my earbuds in.
Yeah. All right. Well, all right. I know we all like to, I don't know if we all like to, but people tend to, oh, Dany and Drogon, this love story. Oh, no, wait a minute. He was an adult who went after a child. I will say, though, that he was relatively progressive in this chapter, such that I guess one of Dany's handmaids is teaching her about Dothraki culture and how, you know, the Blood Riders are bound to him for life. They're supposed the only way they're allowed to live after their call dies is to avenge them. And they share everything, their tent. Let's see. I don't know where it is, but basically they share their wives. And she's so like, oh, I'm so glad he didn't partake in that particular custom. And I'm like, oh my God, yeah, me too, lady.
Yeah, like I mean, she doesn't have a choice, but her standards, like she's looking for positive stuff and anything she can get not to go crazy, probably, because nothing would do. I'm not saying I'm for it, but at her point, like, what is she gonna do? Like,
well, and yeah, here's the thing too. Just globally, half of our audience may or may not be able to answer this question, but like, have you ever been first trimester pregnant? You're fucking tired. She's tired. And it says her pregnancy only seemed to have inflamed Drogo's desire for her, and of late his embraces left her exhausted. So, like, when does that pregnant woman sleep? I don't know.
Yeah.
Can you imagine? Like, Yet she's, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, she has it. I'm sure she has it. I guess she has it better with him than with her brother, but that's a different kind
I think
of.
she gets a little more. Well, yeah, she's not fucking her brother, so she doesn't.
No,
get to
yeah, poor. I mean, yeah, yeah. Oh, let's not even go there.
Oh,
gross.
Twincest is
Twincest. She's embracing all of the aspects of the Dothraki, and I'm sure she's doing her best. And I think,
yeah.
I don't think that he would just automatically just assume that she's raring to go every time. Maybe, he gave her a night of rest. I mean, I can see him doing that. I can see, her saying, I'm exhausted. It was a long day's ride. Can I get a break? Can I get a night off? I think, he gave her a night off. I don't think he's so stupid and just to think that she's not exhausted. I'm sure it was like that in the beginning, but once she put that thing on him, and once she got him up underneath her thumb, which is what she's been doing for a good while. I think she was like, babe, I need a night off.
And not without hard work.
But you know,
Viserys out of that cart. She was like, I did all my tricks, and I got Viserys out of that cart.
Poor thing. Poor thing.
Hey, I'm not trying to make the channel super risque tonight or anything, but I have heard a few guys say that they love sex with pregnant women. It must be like a thing. Hey, Marie Hill.
Yep. Hey, Marie, thank you so much for joining us tonight. We're talking about Dany, and this is her chapter tonight. And with these Dany chapters, I noticed that they get a little bit of risque in them because, she's just finding her sea legs in regards to sex and, in regards to being pregnant. And women, we talk about sex too. So if they're
I mean, it's Game of Thrones. I mean, how can you not go without violence and other stuff? I can't speak about that loud because neighbors are outside.
Yeah, I mean, Game of Thrones has a lot of sex in it. I can't wait till we get to the Arion chapters because there's a lot of sex in those chapters. So sex is just a part of the show. So I'm sorry if anyone is offended, but I don't think we're all adults. We all know what's up.
It's all life, right? It's not like somebody. Yeah, let's not go there, or maybe later.
Yeah. We're talking about Daenerys, and she, has gotten a little bit into an altercation with her brother. She's invited him to dinner tonight, and she's given him gifts, and she's given him clothes, and he, is completely resistant to change. He's completely resistant to adapting to his situation. He is of the mind. He's set in his ways. He doesn't want to adapt and acknowledge that things are changing. And that's the key. When you go into a different place, you got to learn how to adapt. When in Rome, do as the Romans do. And he's not doing that at all. He's not trying to learn about Dothraki culture. He's not trying to learn the language. He's not trying to learn the customs. He's of the opinion that he is above these people. He's of the opinion that he's better than, and he's losing his power little by little. He's becoming a joke throughout the camp, and he just doesn't see it yet. He's living in a fog. He's been living in a fog ever since he came, with these people.
He has made himself everything that is completely ridiculous and a freaking joke.
Yeah, he is a joke. He's just become. He just can't adapt to the situation, and that's the key. When you go to somewhere new, try and adapt as best you can. Tyrion himself is very good at adapting. If you go through his chapters, he always, whenever he goes to a new place, he tries to dress like them. He tries to learn their customs. He tries to make inroads with the people there and try and do the best that he can with the situation that he's got himself into. And Viserys, doesn't do that. He does not do that. at all.
Even Sansa's good at it. Even Sansa's good at it. Marjorie Tyrell is very good at it. Making, even though maybe inside she's like, oh, there's a million things I'd rather do than visit the poor. The things that she does to try to ingratiate herself with the local population is, that's a perfect example of, how you should be if those are going to be your people. I'm sorry, Elamar, go ahead.
That's okay. I wanted to bring up the point when Misha was talking about Viserys. I'm like, wait a minute, I'm already losing my mind with all the names. But so we see him as going kind of crazy towards the end, like he's completely losing it, and we see that actor, he's a great actor. He played that role perfectly. We can see him going, like, just his eyes are like wild and crazy and just completely, there's no reasoning with him. So that brings to mind Dany right now, or maybe in the next season, because he is so, like, Viserys, he's so close to his goal. Like, he's almost, he thinks he's close, to getting his army. He's so close, like right there. And being so close to something you really, really want can make you kind of illogical, because you get overpowered by your emotions. So Dany right now she's in his shoes. She has her, I guess, people, and she's so close to having that throne for herself. And I'm just curious to see how crazy she's gonna get being so close to it, but far away.
No, yeah. It's very true what you said, Elamar. She's gonna find out that being in charge, as I said before, is gonna be hard. She's gonna run into the same group of problems that he did. Viserys is going to be very much a factor in her mind and in her heart. She's not gonna forget Viserys at all. We all know what's going to happen to him, but he's not going to disappear totally. And that's what I really, really like about the George R. R. Martin books. Just because a character is dead doesn't mean that they're truly gone. They're not gone. Their body has gone. But there's a presence about all of the dead that stick around in the story. Viserys is not going to be gone. All the way up to her last chapter in a dance with dragons, she's still going to have Viserys on her mind. Even though he's gone,
it's almost as if it's a ghost story. It's it's like they're fighting for Rhaegar's ghost. Then there's Lyanna's ghost. The dead people from that war are on the minds constantly. And absolutely. So when Dany is talking about like the blood riders and how they share everything, he says, oh, it's like she thinks, oh, it's like the Kingsguard. But then she thought about the Kinslayer and Barristan Selmy, who went over to the usurper. And I'm just like, yeah, but if you could know how existentially tortured those men are, I would rather be dead than like have to live with the torture.
We see that. That's what is so beautiful about the characters. They're so multidimensional.
Jaime is tortured. Selmy is tortured. Like I wouldn't want their job.
No.
I need to bring up something, and we've got her in the chat. One of everybody's really great friends, a great lady, Marie Hill. Last week we had started doing this chapter, and my computer was just acting like a bitch, and so we couldn't do it. But she brought up something that we need to talk about, and I just want to get everybody's opinion on this. She thinks that perhaps there was already a civilization where Vaes Dothraki is, and that's why those statues are there. She doesn't believe that the Dothraki have carted those statues halfway across the world, because it just doesn't
imagine them like dragging stuff.
And while we know they do have carts, it is hard to imagine because we see in the show when something is worth money, when they were gold, they talked about just breaking the shit down. There was.
And that's, but another thing too, is that like when Jorah is talking about a Khalasar versus a Westerosi army, once Rhaegar died, everyone cut and run. Like everyone was like, I'm out. But he's like, the Dothraki don't work that way. They're like ants, they'll pile on top of you. Like their volume is a part of how they fight. And I don't know that, I think it's, well, the Red Ruby Ford, isn't that where all the broken men went or something? Like, I know I'm not supposed to be talking about A Feast for Crows, but yeah, anyway.
I can't help you with that. I'm sorry. I'm just listening to that.
I'm
sorry. You're ahead of me, Sarah. So I'm just listening about that.
Yeah. Right. Me too. And I just want to congratulate Milt on his 1-year channel anniversary. Congrats.
Oh,
Milt.
Congratulations, Milt.
That's a big accomplishment. And also AU Pack Mule, who always holds a special place in my heart, because he taught me how to live stream on his 600 subs.
600 subs.
That's amazing.
Congratulations.
And everybody hit their icons and hit LMR's icon and hit Misha's icon and subscribe to these channels. Chrissy of Old Stones has a great channel. Everybody.
Oh my gosh, you gotta check out. I'm gonna look for Chrissy's. Well, you can click on the icon too. So
yeah, I'm just gonna say I'm gonna look up all of you. I can't wait. Milt, whenever you're in trivia, I'm like, I'm gonna kill this motherfucker. Like, I never do.
Oh my God.
I never do, but I try and beat your score. So hi.
I have a question, kind of going back to the book or the chapter. Let's see. There's a thing about when she actually hits him, where Dany hits her brother over the face with whatever it was that was made for him.
She draws blood. Like the whole point is like everyone disarms.
Exactly, and it said, or the rule is to not shed free men's blood. And
is it Freeman's blood? I just thought.
Free, yeah, that's why I have it underlined. Right. So I'm thinking, what about the whole free part? Like, what do you think about that, ladies and chat?
Yeah, I'm gonna go back to it because I actually have it downloaded and opened. But
So there were no knives allowed. No way.
Yes. Is it ill omen that she drew blood? Because I took it as like you're not allowed to draw blood.
Yeah.
Everyone disarms. That's why they pour gold on his head. They cook him in metal. I wouldn't want to go that way.
He is a free man, but technically, she drew his blood somehow.
Okay.
Not accidentally, but then how are you if you want to?
Lazy. I'm just going to agree with you on that. Yes, that happened. Yeah.
Well, I hope I have it right. I have underlined and double underlined. Like, wait a minute.
I was going to say, here's the thing. I believe you to death, but let's see if my ebook looks any different.
Yeah.
We'll compare.
That was from the ebook. That was from the ebook. So I wonder what the actual book says. But yeah, so that's interesting if that has anything to do with her later.
Okay, so you guys think that her scratching Viserys and he's a freed man put some kind of bad omen on her?
Or maybe he's not free. Maybe he's not free. Maybe he's, or anyone else. I didn't think about it. I didn't underline the word free. I was just like, well, what does it mean that she slammed him in the face with a belt in a city and drew blood in a city where you're not supposed to draw blood?
BBM says ebooks never lie. Never lies. Yep. Well, the ebook that I have as
Bubba Husky says maybe they view him as less because he's not Dothraki. I do believe that they do 100%, but he's not a slave, and I think that's where they're getting at with free men, because the Dothraki have slaves.
They sure do. That's who built up that whole city. And
they talk about when they go conquer a town, a country, or whatever, they take the pot. Remember, because that's how Miriam Mazdor came into Daenerys's possession or whatever.
So yeah, like it reminded me of Bravos, how like all the escaped slaves like formed this culture, but they worshipped all the gods they brought with them, you know? And I feel like, again, I haven't read A World of Ice and Fire 500 times, but I feel like Valeria was relatively permissive in terms of religion because they were just into conquering. And so it's so interesting to hear Viserys like with such contempt about these people just they're all about like fire and blood. Like that, isn't that your deal as you conquer, right? Like isn't that what fire and blood means? Like these Dothraki conquer and steal and take. I guess it's sort of like the Ironborn. Maybe it's sort of like the wildlings. Like, I don't know. And like Robert should have been Dothraki, but it's the contempt.
Sarah, why do you say that? Remember, that's specifically what Jaime says to Cersei, that the Ironborn only steal things from people who are better. Basically, the same quote Viserys used describing the Dothraki was in the television show this past season. Jaime describing the Ironborn. Okay, go ahead.
No, I need to go back and look at that. That's all I have to say.
And with that, you were saying about they steal and whatever else now they were saying, right? And then I have a note about it saying that, and later on they will steal from him and they will kill him because they stole. I don't even know if we can call it stole because he gave his sister, but in a way they stole the army that he wanted to have. They never gave it, but in a way it's like not giving it, and then they killed him.
So I guess like I've forgotten about Viserys to a certain extent because it's like, yeah, he's a ghost in the 5th book. He's a ghost in all the books, but we saw in the show that she burned the Crone village to the ground. Like you have to go forward, you have to go back, and the Dothraki horde like descends upon her. Yeah. This chapter is hard for me to read, knowing that like we may or may know what happens with all this.
Mackenzie Burns says Dany didn't want to be like her brother, but is slowly turning into him. Yeah. Well, hopefully she'll. Yeah, into her brother. Yeah. Hopefully she won't, or maybe she will. Maybe we want to see her go nuts and crazy and all that. I don't know. I don't know what I want. I want to be blown away.
I heard she's good in the Solo movie. I have to go see it still, but I heard she's good in it. For whatever that's worth.
Me and Russell loved, like, sometimes something that we do is we go to the premiere of the Star Wars stuff, and at our local theater, they always have the people dressed up.
People get dressed up. It's so fun.
It is fun. It's a lot of fun. And they always do it at 10 o'clock the night before instead of 12.
Because it's still on at midnight, whatever.
Exactly. So it's awesome. We have pictures of, like, stormtroopers pushing buggies because our cinema is right next to a Big Lots or whatever. And yeah, I love that's like I got that Lady Stoneheart picture with her with the Starbucks. I got that on purpose because I thought that was like really funny. You know that. Yeah. Okay.
No, it's good. Misha or Elmar, did you see the new Solo movie? No. Yes.
I think it's just
No, I did not. I actually, I'm very picky with movies, so I wanted to first hear about it because I have like 0 time on my hands. So if I'm gonna spend time over there, I wanna.
No, I've missed so many good movies, and it's not because they're not good. It's because like I see one movie every 3 months.
There's like no time. But I saw the Avengers. Or
that's
another Avengers.
I've heard of that one. I've heard of it.
Xfinity. I'm tired. I'm saying Xfinity because I'm looking at the sign right now. It says Xfinity on my TV, like blinking. I have to reset it. Infinity or so. Anyway, so I always wait for a review before I see it, and then I still go see it if I want to see it, even if it gets bad reviews. I don't care about the reviews, but I kind of want to still hear what people say and then make my own choice.
I do like seeing a movie before I've heard anything about it in the press.
Oh.
Like, sometimes like, all right, this is a weird one. There's like, I see bad movies for that reason. That Amy Poehler and Tina Fey movie, but they like kind of swap roles and they're like trying to sell their parents' house. There was like a good movie out in the theater at that time. And I was like, I went and I saw that one instead. I was like one of 3 people in the theater. It was like opening weekend. Oh, it was like I think it was when the new Star Wars movie with Rey came out. BB-8.
I love to sneak Taco Bell in the movie theater for some reason.
Bell?
I like to go through Taco Bell and get some burritos and stuff, and then go. I like to go to the movies by myself with Taco Bell during the day when hardly nobody's in there, and sit there and just like pig out.
Is the air conditioning good there? Because like
very good. Your air has to be damn good here.
The air conditioning has to be good, or else they'll melt the movies. I'm gonna hang out with the movies.
It's so good here. You see people bring blankets.
Ah.
See, I'm weird when it comes to food at movies, because I actually go to the movies to eat. I'm weird, but I love their popcorn and I love their nachos. And for me, when I'm going, I'm not. I mean, I go so rarely that when I go, I
nachos.
I stuff my face with that stuff. I don't care, and I'm gonna send the kids for refills.
So that's what you do. Is you get the enormous. You bring all the litter,
big nacho.
And you're like, okay, kids, if you finish this bag, we can get a whole new bag on the way out. Yes. And they think that I'm being so generous. And I'm like, nah, it's built into the $5.
Yeah.
But go ahead, kids. Like, eat up.
You guys, everybody can have it. My email address is actually mrsnacho@yahoo.com. And that is because my parents owned concession stands until I got married and moved to Louisiana. I worked for them.
Nachos are great.
Yeah, and we use Sales cheese that is kind of jalapeno flavored. It's delicious. I love it.
Good thing. Okay, we're talking food, and I know. And
I know Misha's just looking at us.
No, I have my pickles here. Pickles. I have my pickles here. I kind of in a pickle. I'm not in a pickle. I like pickles anyway.
Pickles? Are you pregnant?
No, I'm not pregnant. Thank you. I'm so very done with we already have 3, and one of them actually has a license already. So oh my gosh, time is flying by. But no, you don't need to be pregnant to love pickles. Come on.
I eat pickles every day. And people are like, "You have a headache? Can you eat pickles?" And I'm like, "Fuck you! I'm just hungover."
Oh my god! You should be like, yes. My baby registry is at whatever at Macy's. Buy me,
and buy me shoes.
Right? I've got a baby registry up there at Macy's. Just gift card.
That's my favorite.
Gift card.
Episode, by the way, if we can just like take a little reverse back, my favorite Sex and City episode is when she's like forced to go to this god awful baby shower, and somebody takes her crazy expensive shoes.
Oh, so because the lady makes her take her shoes off.
Yeah, and she won't. And she's like, you know what I'm gonna do? And so she's like, yeah, it's my registry, and the only thing you can buy is your shoes back. And I was just like, well done, Sarah. Carrie, whatever.
Yeah.
That's one of the good things about getting married is all the Bed Bath & Beyond packages that arrive at your doorstep.
The what? What did you say, Jen? I didn't hear that last part.
When I got married, that was one of the delightful things was all the Bed Bath & Beyond packages that arrive at your doorstep.
Oh my gosh. And Danny and her dragons, her gifts, her wedding gifts. What do you think about those things? She's talking to them, not talking. She's gaining strength from them, right? She where's my note? Drawing strength from them.
She after the end of the altercation, she cradles her dragon eggs. And she's telling herself and her baby that they are the dragons. They are the true dragons.
That's right.
Not Viserys. And I think that's a really good, moment for her. She's realizing that she's worth more than she thinks. Viserys only saw her as an extension of himself. But she's starting to, gain an identity of her own, identity separate from him. And the Dothraki are encouraging that as well. I mean, this whole situation with this whole marriage and so forth, I mean, it's just been the best thing for her. It's been the best thing for her. Even right on back, to their first night together when they first made love. Viserys, believed that this was going to be a terrible thing. But come to find out, it was a very beautiful love scene that they had right there in the beginning. So, I mean, this is not something that Viserys was planning on. Viserys, just thought this was going to be horrible for her. But, I mean, things took the turn in her direction. And it was great to see that. It was great to see that because Viserys didn't deserve, the kindness.
And let's not forget, Illyrio posted a guard outside her door the night before the wedding because he thought that Viserys, because Viserys did wrestle.
He was also like, I tried to take her myself, but I just summoned someone who looked like her. Yeah, he had to protect her. To hear him tell it, but do you believe the thing that man says? Go ahead. I got to shut lights off behind me.
I really do believe that because I believe it did cross Viserys' mind that he should maybe have her once before he was that not in there? I do believe it did cross his mind that perhaps he should do that, but because he was kind of torn because traditionally, that would have been his wife.
Yeah.
Yep.
That would have been his wife, and that's another good point. He realizes that pretty much Daenerys was all he had, and he had given away everything that he had, and it was pretty much for nothing. I mean, and that's a really good point. I mean, so many people in this story and in real life are concerned with earthly riches and power, but I think the most important thing above all is just having family close. Your family is your legacy. Your family, whatever family that you have, they are the most important. Not, earthly riches, not armies, not gold. It's your family. Family is all a man has. And if he doesn't have some sort of a family with him, he's pretty much alone in this world. And it's certainly true in this chapter, and he's starting to realize that. He's starting to realize that the one thing that he had all his life, which was Daenerys, is now gone. And it's sad. It's sad, and I feel for him to a point, but then I have to think about how he's treated her all these years. And even though he's kept her alive, he's never really forgiven her for the death of their mother. He blames, her birth and, the death of their mother on her birth and on Daenerys' birth. But, I mean, he's given up. He's thrown it all away. And it's just sad for him, to realize that, and he can't, adapt to that situation at all. He just can't adapt to it. And adapting is the best thing that you have to do, especially when you're thrown into a new situation.
And Cersei blames Tyrion for the death of Joanna Lannister. I mean, so we see, so that's not an uncommon thing here. We see her resentment towards Tyrion her whole life over that, and he kind of he blames Daenerys for the death of their mother, and yeah, he's all messed up, really.
Oh yeah.
I wanted to bring something up. I'm not sure if you already mentioned it in a different chapter, but when I think Misha, it was you when you were speaking about Daenerys and how she is kind of taking charge and all. I know that up until when I first watched the show, right, and I thought that scene with Drogo and Dany, technically it was, people love that scene. Some people love that scene. It was a bit disturbing to me.
Which scene, Elmar?
Their wedding night.
I did not. Oh, okay. I didn't ask for my opinion, but
no.
The book, she says yes.
No, I know. That's why I'm saying with the book, because I read, I'm caught up until I think the second or third book. But what I'm saying is, in the book, it was completely different. It did not feel, minus the age. And let's not even talk about the age. Let's talk about the fact that she's married to him. Let's just take it for granted, like it is.
Let's pretend they're adults.
Yeah, exactly. It was completely different. It had completely different meaning to me, and it had a completely different feeling.
So
complete opposite.
I think of it as like, okay, so in the books, we're supposed to think of like Drogo as we're supposed to identify with our captor, right? Like I said yes, and I just feel like they had fewer minutes to communicate a lot of information.
But I think they communicated what they wanted to communicate, because if they wanted to make it at least.
Did Dany want to have sex with them every single time in this chapter?
No. I'm just saying.
I don't think she did.
Their wedding night. They completely messed it up,
the wedding night. I think they tried to. I guess
they painted a wrong picture.
Do I sound like a show apologist? I feel like they tried to build a whole relationship in that one scene where she's going to do what she needs to do for those eggs. And they tried to film that in a scene as opposed to an entire book.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, sometimes I think they got the whole wedding night wrong on the show. Mm-hmm. I would have liked to have seen, the foreplay aspect of.
Exactly.
It would have taken them 3 days.
But at least that would be a good scene.
I mean, they could have, BBM says in the book she liked it. On the show it should be as rape, as if I recall, and it kind of was rape in the show, but in the books it was completely different. If you haven't read that love scene in the books, you should go ahead. And I'm talking to the people.
It was awesome.
It was great in the books. I would have loved to have seen that. They could have, taken a few minutes and go into it. They didn't have to make it as graphic as it was in the book, but they could have molded it to being a very good experience for Dany. But they just didn't do that. They just decided to go the rape aspect of her crying and him not
exactly
really.
But she learned. I feel like they did service to her storyline. There's obviously that scene it was different, but I feel like they did service to her storyline where she learns how to get control of her situation.
Dorea. I mean, they took all this time for Dorea, and but they didn't take time for
who's the guy in McShane, Titties and Dragons? That's why people watch the show. So she's both. She's she's both of those. So.
Yes, I just wanted to bring it up because I'm not sure if everybody that's here today was there, from the beginning when you were doing these and before. But I just wanted to bring it up that was a big turning thing. That wedding night that they had, she didn't initiate it, but she was the one who said, "Yeah, let's do it." Basically, whenever she's ready, she was the one who kind of called it.
Started off crying.
Yeah.
She stopped crying. She felt comfortable.
Exactly.
She felt more comfortable. She felt more comfortable.
And then she was the one who actually.
The only word he knew. Now, granted, she was probably terrified, but at that point, who isn't? The no was the only word he kept asking her, and then eventually she says yes, and then the chapter ends. And so, I don't know, it was kind of sweet. I thought
it was.
I don't know.
It was very nice. It was very.
That's why
it was sweet.
Yeah.
And it's so nice of him not to share her with the whole entire Dothraki horde. He's such a gentleman.
Oh my gosh! Well, that's this is the best Dothraki I guess you could ask for. So let's give her that, or give them that.
On this side of Westeros, the best Dothraki on this side of Westeros.
Highly recommended, right, by Dany.
Illyrio is such a nice guy.
Sorry?
Illyrio is such a nice guy.
Illyrio.
I'm kidding. He's an asshole. He's the worst.
Best matchmaker.
Yeah, no. Yeah. So I think anything that worked out in Dany's favor was coincidental to what Illyrio had in mind.
Yeah.
They haven't made him sympathetic to me at all. I don't care what happens to him. Are we trying to call it quits? We've gone through the whole chapter.
We're just cutting up, but we better go ahead and wrap up because everybody does have lives aside from talking about our favorite show.
Well, yeah, I mean, I was just before we go, and I agree with you, we do have to kind of wrap it up. I just wanted to talk a little bit about the eggs and the swollen belly. It's the last part. It's like the last chapter. And her having control over those eggs. I mean, I just thought that was a great scene for her, just forming her own identity, trying to get rid of her brother, trying to stand on her own 2 feet, standing up to him. And it was just a great scene for her. It was just great to see her, you know, say, I've had enough of you. I'm not going to put up with your, you know, with your abuse anymore. I'm not going to put up with it. And that's just it's a great thing for someone of her age, someone, you know, who is like 13 or 14 years old. Someone, you know, finally coming into her home and coming into it early. There are a few women that have not reached that point yet. And it was great to see Daenerys, you know, reach that point, you know, and reach it early, because there are women out there, you know, in our own lives that have not reached that point yet, that don't have enough strength in them to stand on their own 2 feet and stand up for themselves. So for her just to, you know, finally stand up to her brother, it's just great. It's just a great moment for her. I mean, what did she say? And pray that the cow doesn't hear of this, or he will cut your belly open and feed you your own entrails. I mean, that's a vicious thing to
and
say.
then on his way out, he's like, slut.
Yeah,
he calls her that.
Yeah, but Viserys scrambled back to his feet. He says, when I come into my kingdom, you will rule this day, slut. And it's just great. It's just great for her. It's great for her to find that moment. And I encourage every woman, you know, don't be afraid to speak your mind. Don't be afraid to speak your heart. Don't put up with the abuse from anyone.
Don't hit anyone with a belt. But figuratively.
Unless you have to.
Unless you have to.
I've certainly been hit with one before.
And that goes for men too, because
remember
there's abuse for both sides.
If I have any say over anyone, don't hit anyone. Don't hit anyone with your hands. Don't hit anyone with metal. Just keep your hands to yourself, like kindergarten rules.
The only thing you can hit is hit the road when you have to go somewhere.
You guys, real talk in the chat. Who got spanked with a belt before? I used to, and you know, that one time your dad accidentally hits you with the buckle. Oh my God. Oh, old school punishment. It went down at my house.
Well, I mean, you know, children do get disciplined for their.
I was going to say, we all have our unique forms of torture.
Yeah, hopefully it's not abuse, you know.
We've got a comment from Eduardo. This is so sweet. I want to read this. Thank you so much, Eduardo Blanco. And we love you here so much. And you're coming. You're just really such a nice person. And we enjoy you so much here. I read the books a couple of times, but in every one of your streams, I find something extra, something clever and insightful. Thanks a lot, everybody. No, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Eduardo. Yes.
Thank you, Eduardo.
Thank you. And I'm chatting away with you all. Chatting.
Elmar, you handle that chat like a boss. Like everyone's
I know.
Elmar, I peeked in today and I'm like, what the hell are you guys talking about? How did I miss out on all this? Do you remember that? When I popped in, I was like,
yeah.
And then, it was fun. It was fun. It was like a fun 5 minutes of my day for sure.
I know. LMR must be able to text like a speed demon. I mean,
I wrote
at the online trivia, because it's not only about knowing the questions, it's about being able to type the answer in first.
So in the spirit of extra disclosure, like my daughter is like, Ma, it's a trivia night, like Friday. She's into the trivia, and I'm like,
very good.
So, but like, she's the one who, like, for instance, the Easter. If anyone from that trivia night is watching, like, it was Easter, and she knew all the Easter movies. She was like, it's Hop, it's Jelly Bean. Like, she learns this crap in school, and because she's in grade school, so they teach them. And my 9-year-old is my Google. Like, I'm not when it comes to like movies and stuff, but when it comes to a lot of pop culture, my 9-year-old knows more than I do. So sorry guys. All those times I came in a distant third.
You know, the stuff the kids learn these days at school. I'm like, wow. I
remember putting that movie on for them 100 times, but I've never watched it because it's like it's acceptable, whatever. Like, I'm gonna go
Chrissy of Oldstone.
What is Chrissy of Oldstone saying?
Gangbangers forever. Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh, so Mackenzie, yeah. Mackenzie.
And please explain, because I'm not sure everybody from the chat knows what it is about. We don't. Jen.
I was trying to throw a gang sign, but I don't.
No.
Oh, what?
No, and to everybody who doesn't know, who's like, what is Jen talking about?
Oh.
It's a group. Go ahead. Maybe you want to introduce.
No, you go ahead. Do it. Yeah.
No, so Cameo, she is our. How did I call her? Oh my God, link bringer. First of all, and she has this awesome chat.
Lightbringer. Link bringer.
She's the awesomeness bringer. I'm telling you, she gathers all kinds of amazing people in her group, and
we just share videos, we share birthday wishes, we share prayers and good vibes.
Or just like funny.
We're silly today. It works. Sarah dropped in on. I mean, we have a lot of lurking.
Yeah, it was a great conversation. Like, I came into like how stupid John is and how he's the asshole who's gonna marry the first guy.
We're chatting away over there.
Like his brother Rob.
Right. So, that's why I shout out to Kemi and to our amazing group. This is how we're. That's how I met you people. So thank you, Kemi. Thank you for my new friends.
Yeah, thank you so much, Kemi. We so appreciate you here. We appreciate all of our people in the chat who comes to see us and listen and give their opinions every week. We certainly enjoy this, and we enjoy all of you. Thank you all so much. Next week we're going to be doing Bran. Bran is the next chapter 37, I believe. And I don't really know exactly what the Bran chapter is going to entail, but
it's the first one where he leaves his room after the fall. So,
very good.
I don't know what happens. Is it the Harvest Feast? Like, I don't know, but I just know that I listened a little extra on my way home, and I was like, shit, I don't care about Bran. I got to listen to Danny again. Like, but I know it's the first. Like, Rob is like, are you ready to leave? And it's the first time he's going to leave the room since the fall. That's all I know.
Okay.
Be there, be square, folks.
Yeah, we'll have it figured out by then. No problem. Thank you all so much for our people in the chat. Jennifer said it's time to shut this down for tonight, and we're going to be doing Bran next week. So make sure you, everyone in our chat and everyone on our panel, myself included, make sure we read the chapter, because I haven't read the chapter tonight for sure. You all want to do your outros, and anybody wants to start?
I'll start. Okay, everybody, thank you so much for coming. This is Lady Wolverton's Den, where we do book club on Thursday night, and occasionally we do a special stream highlighting a topic. I can tell you pretty soon coming up, we're going to be talking about Titans of the Stars, LMR's book, and Fiora Hexa, who we've had before on here talking about Queen Sansa, Queen Sansa, King John, Sansa is going to be coming on again to discuss her political John theory. Also, you guys, LMR and Johnny Be Crazy have started up a really delightful Westworld chat. You want to be sure and catch that. Beginner, advanced Westworld watcher, whatever. It's very much like this chat. Everyone is welcome. Thanks, everybody, so much for coming. We just always have a lot of fun here. All the bangers, if you're not a banger, become a banger. Like Bubba Husky says, it's the easiest gang he's ever joined. We're not going to sex you or beat you in.
No. You just have to, the only thing you have to be ready for is either anything goes as far as comments and funny things, but it's all meant in good fun and respect, and it's a safe place. So I've never been like, that is so over the line. I can't believe I'm in this group. Like, if anything, it's the volume of but like, if you just like check it sometimes, not like every single time your phone goes off, like it's great.
Oh, and I wanted to say, I am Jennifer Wolverton on Facebook.
Oh, Jennifer Wolverton on Facebook. Yeah.
Jennifer Wolverton 1966 at Twitter. I promise you I'm very approachable. I'm very, yeah. I mean, and I'm like Tywin Lannister. I will make time for you.
That's funny. That is a good one. You will, and you're so sweet.
Ned.
When Jamie tells Roose Bolton, he'll make time for you.
Yeah.
You know, time out. He'll come get your ass if you do anything to me.
Oh, okay. There's an implicit threat. I missed that part.
Don't mess with Jen.
No. I just meant I will.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm joking. You know me.
I know. Okay. I know.
When do I not joke? You're the sweetest person ever. So,
thank you.
And everybody knows that.
Nice here. Everybody's nice. We like nice people. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. It's cool to be nice, in my opinion.
And there's so many outlets. Like if you're mean, there's so many places to go.
Yeah,
you don't need to be here.
Also, to everyone that's left in the chat, make sure you check out me and Jen's videos from the Con of Thrones. She made a video montage on her channel. I made one on my channel. So check out the video montages if you haven't already, from the pictures, because we all took pictures. So make sure you just go out and check out that if you're interested in knowing exactly what happened in regards to the pictures. Yes, Sarah.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
I screenshotted a picture that you took of me on YouTube. Could you actually send me that picture so I can show people that I went somewhere and I did something?
You're funny. Okay, say it again, Sarah. What did you say? That I went.
I want proof that this happened, and I saw proof that this happened.
You're hilarious.
Feed. So I didn't know if my thing was gonna go well or not, so I wasn't trying to advertise it or record it, but.
It was the best. It was
I
the best
okay,
channel.
but now I'm all right, well, shit. Why didn't I?
Look, I was going to record it, but the truth is you weren't supposed to. I think you can get the recording from the people because I see the other people posting their stuff. That would actually be, if you start a channel or a blog or something, that would actually be a great thing for you to start off with.
So I think that just hear it first here right now to you, Jen. If I do that, I'm probably going to need a new email address, channel, whatever. This one's got some baggage. I love you baggage. If you know who I mean, but it's
no, that's what I meant. If you were gonna start doing your own thing, that would be a great.
I would probably have to ditch this one because I'm not.
Oh, you mean you couldn't do book club anymore?
No, I would absolutely do book club, but with a different fucking email address. Excuse my language, but
I've got what you're saying. It's cool. I was just saying, you really want to try to get a copy of that. And
I'm in a group, and they made a fake blog about all the Con of Thrones appearances. They're like, oh my God, this was so great. And that was so great. It was a parody. And then it was Lady Cray presented this. And it was this kind of tweaked out looking woman. And I'm like, Lady Cray, is that anyone's name? Because I want that name. Can I have that name?
Find it. Just make it now.
Lady Cray? Yeah. It's yeah, okay, that's my name. If it's
not there, just go get it and sign it.
All right, how about this? If you've got a good idea, let me know. Because it never occurred to me to do anything but my social security number. I'm not wired for this shit.
Oh my goodness. That was funny. Oh, and Nancy T says she did amazing and the lemon cakes rocked. I have to hit you up for that lemon cake recipe.
Oh yeah.
Because that yeah.
I realized I can't post my slideshow because my slideshow is taking screenshots of the Kindle recipe book and putting it up on the screen. Wouldn't some copyright person come and get me for doing that?
They would take it down. I've seen where somebody posted some videos from the con and that they were, that were not the official videos and they took them down. However,
here's the thing.
Anything some of the people who were participating in it has posted.
I participated, and here's the thing. I have no following. If whoever saw it, they're going to be oh, I'll go out and buy that book. They're not going to steal it and make money from it. No one would mess with that.
That's complicated probably for them.
Yeah, okay. So here's the thing. I'm just going to, First of all, no one ate lemon cakes there because you're not supposed to just shoot food.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, we're gonna go ahead and shut it down.
Shut it down.
And we can continue our chat after we go off. Thank you, everyone, for
Patreon exclusive is after 11:05.
Okay.
Yeah. Here it's 10:05, so we did go past 5 minutes. And then I see that Cami already put my links over there, so I guess we're good to go. And then like she says, and like Jen said, Johnny and I are gonna be doing the Westworld after the episode airs the next day, I think, or depending on my crazy schedule. Yeah. And then Jen is nice enough to have me on her channel for doing a little bit on my book, so that's going to be one of the Sundays. But first we're going to do a different theory, and then at some point we're going to do my book, so whoever hasn't read it, they can find it on Amazon, but those who read it are more than welcome to join and to see what kind of question Jen will have for me. Hopefully I won't blush too much.
When does this happen? When does this happen? Sunday?
We have to set it up one of the Sundays.
We have to set it up.
Okay.
Probably not this Sunday, but it's coming up. I want to kind of give other people a chance to get the book and read it. But several people have it and have been reading it. James from Dust on the Thrones is reading it and enjoying it. One True David Adams has it. And is reading it. Who else is reading Ellen Mar's book?
What about the other?
I got
the other David.
I got the other David. No, I don't think he has that. But I know AU read it and he actually left me a really nice review. So thank you.
He's awesome.
I
enjoy
that.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is.
Then there were a couple more. There one of the reviews.
Chrissy of Oldstone.
Yes.
I read it. I loved it. Chrissy of Oldstone. Thank you, girl. That's what I'm saying. How many times do you have an author and you can actually ask them?
Elmar.
Like, what about this? What about this?
I don't want to make. Okay, I'm not going to ask you details because I haven't read it yet. But okay, I've seen a lot of blushing, like it's young adult. There's sex in it.
It's like, not young adult. I'm sorry.
Well, whatever the hell it is. Like, what is it besides
adult.
a little bit of sex? What is it about? What is it about besides sex? Like, is it medieval? Is it like,
you know, asking an author about it, it's kind of, I would prefer if Jen said it, because Jen said it the best way.
Jen, explain it.
Okay, it's an adult fiction novel. It's
is it pornography?
No, absolutely not. No.
Okay.
I mean,
just curious. Listen, that would make me want to read it. Like, I'm curious.
You know, it depends what you call it, because some people, I had beta readers where they're like, "Oh, you didn't tell me it's gonna be happening there." I'm like, "I'm sorry."
The best thing I ever saw in my life was how every woman got a Kindle at the same time and decided to download 50 Shades of Grey at the same time. Like,
I was very
Let's wrap this up and then we can finish because Misha has to get going.
Yep. Sorry, Misha.
Yep. Sorry. But yeah. So we'll set it up at some point.
Yeah,
so I can thank you.
Okay, the book is sexy. It's adult fiction. It's set in today, but it's a little bit sci-fi. You could compare some of the sex scenes, maybe if you've ever read a little bit of historic romance. Or hey, it's not like 50 Shades of Grey by any means, but does it have a little sex in it? It does, but it's well written, and you know, it's adult. It's adult.
Yeah. The only comment I can't get on it, and I know Eduardo Blanco left me a really nice comment or review, but for some reason that one is not showing up, maybe because of the different territories. So again, whoever read it, I'm always grateful for leaving a feedback. That is always great, because the second one is in works. So thank you. Anyway, I'm done.
All right, guys. Well, we'll see you next Thursday. Thanks so much for popping in. Everybody have a lovely weekend and just be blessed. 7 blessings.
Bye.